The pills taste like chalk and broken dreams. I swallow the last handful with lukewarm energy drink, my phone screen blurring as Sophia's Instagram story loops for the 100th time today. There she is, glowing in sponsored lighting, holding up some overpriced serum while my teenage face stares back from her phone screen. That same vulnerable selfie from 8 years ago, the one that destroyed everything. Before I learned to love my skin journey, thanks to my bestie Maya for always keeping it real and inspiring my body positivity content, #Transformation Tuesday, #Skin Journey, #Glow Up. My bestie Maya, the girl who posted my most vulnerable moment for likes. The girl who built her entire brand on body positivity while I've been rotting in this studio apartment. Too scared to show my face anywhere because the internet decided I was the poster child for what not to look like. The irony is suffocating. Sophia Chen Martinez now has 2.8 million followers, a skincare line deal with Sephora, and magazine covers praising her authentic approach to beauty standards. She makes six figures posting about self-love while I couldn't even love myself enough to stay alive. My vision starts to tunnel. Good. I'm done being her cautionary tale, her before picture, her inspiration porn for girls who want to feel better about themselves. In her comments, teenagers write things like, "I needed to see this," and "You saved my confidence," while tagging their friends with acne like it's some kind of public service announcement. The pills kick in harder now. My apartment fades. This pathetic space I could barely afford after dropping out of art school because I couldn't handle being perceived, couldn't handle the whispers, couldn't handle existing in my own skin after the internet decided it was a joke. My phone slips from my fingers, but not before I see the notification count on Sophia's post. 847K likes and climbing. She's literally profiting off my trauma and doesn't even realize I'm dying. The last thing I see is my own teenage face staring back at me from her story highlight titled Body Positive Inspiration. A hall of fame of posts featuring me as the real, unfiltered friend who helped her appreciate her own beauty. Everything goes black. Sunlight hits my face like a slap. I bolt upright, gasping, my heart hammering against ribs that should be still. My hands fly to my throat, no burning, no pill residue, no taste of death. I'm breathing. I'm alive. I'm in my childhood bedroom and the walls are covered in art prints I haven't seen in years. My easel stands in the corner with a half-finished painting of cherry blossoms, the last piece I created before everything fell apart. My desk holds SAT prep books and college brochures for art schools I never got to attend. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. The date makes my blood freeze. March 15th, 2016. 8 years ago, the day everything changed, the day Sophia posted the selfie that ruined my life. I grab the phone with shaking hands, scrolling through my camera roll, and there it is. The photo I took last night. My 18-year-old face without makeup, skin angry with hormonal acne, eyes puffy from crying about Jason Chen rejecting me at the spring formal. I'd sent it to Sophia with a caption about feeling ugly, looking for comfort from my best friend. At 11:47 a.m. today, in exactly 3 hours, she'll screenshot it and post it to her story with laughing, crying emojis, and the caption, "When your bestie thinks she's Instagram ready, #no filter, #reality." By 2 p.m., it'll have 400 shares. By dinner, I'll be the school joke. By graduation, I'll be too broken to attend art school. By 26, I'll be dead. Not this time. I delete the photo with savage satisfaction, watching the pixels disappear. Then I stumble to the bathroom mirror and stare at my young face. Rounded with baby fat, skin textured with active breakouts, eyebrows unplucked, everything I learned to hate about myself. But I'm alive, I'm 18 again. And I remember everything. I remember which stocks will boom, which social media platforms will explode, which beauty trends will dominate, which filters will go viral, which hashtags will trend. I remember 8 years of watching from the sidelines as people built empires on authenticity while I hid in shame. My phone buzzes, a text from Sophia. "OMG, did you send me that selfie last night? I can't find it on my phone, you look so pretty." She wants to post it. She's hunting for it right now, probably going through our chat history, disappointed she can't find her easy content for the day. I stare at my reflection one more time, seeing not the ugly girl I thought I was, but raw material. a blank canvas, a story that hasn't been written yet. I pick up my phone and type back, "What selfie? I don't send ugly photos." Then I block her number, let the games begin. I study my 18-year-old face in the bathroom mirror like I'm mapping territory for war. Every bump, every discolored patch, every insecurity I once tried to hide, they're all weapons now. In my previous life, I saw flaws. Now I see stories, texture, humanity. The morning light streaming through my window hits at the perfect angle. I grab my phone and position myself where the shadows fall across my cheekbones. This time, I'm not taking a crying selfie begging for validation. I'm creating art. Click. The photo is stunning. Black and white, dramatic lighting, my face turned slightly away from the camera, so the texture of my skin catches the light like landscape. My eyes are direct, unflinching. This isn't a girl apologizing for existing. This is an artist showcasing her medium. I edit it with techniques I won't perfect for 3 more years, adding grain that won't be trendy until 2018, using composition rules that photography students are just starting to discover. When I'm done, it looks like something you'd see in Vogue's Generation Next spread. My caption comes from 8 years of watching the world debate beauty standards. Skin tells stories, mine's still writing chapters. #skin positivity, #real beauty, #unfiltered art. I posted to Instagram at exactly 8:43 a.m., prime engagement time for teenage audiences, something I learned from watching countless analytics breakdowns during my years of isolation. The response is immediate but different. Instead of pity hearts from friends who feel bad for me, I'm getting fire emojis and comments like, "This is art," and "Wow, I never thought about skin like this." My phone buzzes. Sophia, of course. "Maya, what happened to that cute, sleepy selfie from last night? Also obsessed with your artistic photo. You look like a model." I screenshot her message. "Documentation is everything now." "Thanks, babe. Just feeling inspired lately. Art class is really opening my eyes to different perspectives, you know?" She responds with a string of heart emojis, but I can read between the lines. She's confused. The Maya she knows doesn't post confident photos. The Maya she knows sends crying selfies and begs for reassurance. That Maya is dead, literally. I spend the morning creating content using every viral strategy I learned from 8 years of studying why some posts explode and others don't. I batch create posts for the next 2 weeks, crafting a content calendar that will position me as an authenticity pioneer before the trend hits mainstream. By lunch, my follower count has jumped from 200 to 847. Not massive, but growing at a rate that would have seemed impossible yesterday. At school, people look at me differently. Sarah Kim, who never spoke to me before, stops me in the hallway. "Maya, I saw your post this morning. I've been so insecure about my skin and, I don't know, seeing you own it like that made me feel better about mine." I smile, remembering Sarah's future, how she'll develop a successful photography business, specializing in portraits that celebrate natural beauty. She just doesn't know it yet. "Your skin is beautiful, Sarah. Different stories, but all beautiful." She beams and walks away with straighter shoulders. This is power. Not the fake influence Sophia will build by mocking others, but real impact, changing how people see themselves. My phone buzzes during calculus. Sophia again. "Want to sit together at lunch? I have some drama to tell you about Jessica's party last weekend." I know this drama. Jessica Morrison allegedly hooked up with her best friend's crush. Sophia will dissect every detail, judge every choice, and probably film a story about it later for content. Then she'll do the same thing to Jessica 6 months from now. "Can't today. Art teacher wants to see me about portfolio stuff." It's not entirely a lie. I am going to the art room to start building the skills I'll need for my future empire. Mrs. Patterson nearly drops her coffee when I walk into the art room during lunch. "Maya, I didn't expect to see you here. Are you all right? You seem different today." Different, if she only knew. "I'm good, Mrs. P." "Actually, I'm great. I wanted to talk about expanding my portfolio. I've been thinking about art as communication, you know? Like how visual media can change perspectives." She sets down her mug, intrigued. Mrs. Patterson was always my favorite teacher, but in my original timeline, I was too shy to really connect with her. Not anymore. That's very mature thinking, Maya. What did you have in mind? I pull out my phone and show her this morning's post, now at 1.2K likes. More engagement than I've ever received in my life. I want to explore portraiture that challenges beauty standards, real faces, real stories, but presented as fine art instead of social media trends. Her eyes light up. Maya, this is extraordinary work. The composition, the lighting. When did you develop these skills? I've been studying a lot of contemporary photographers, substantive voices in the medium. I name drop artists who won't be widely recognized for 2 more years, photographers whose techniques I memorized during my years of studying what made images powerful. I'd love to support this direction. What do you need? Access to the darkroom after school, help setting up a proper lighting setup, and I pause for effect. Maybe connections to local galleries that support emerging artists. Mrs. Patterson stares at me like she's seeing me for the first time. In a way, she is. Maya, I don't know what's inspired this transformation, but I'm here for it. Let's set up a regular after-school session. I think you're onto something special. As I leave the art room, I check my phone. My morning post is now at 2.1K likes, and I've gained another 100 followers. More importantly, the comments are shifting. What started as friends being supportive has evolved into strangers discovering my content and engaging deeply. One comment catches my eye. This is the kind of representation I needed to see at 18. Thank you for existing boldly. The commenter's profile shows she's a college senior, probably around 22. In my original timeline, she would have seen Sophia's mocking post about me instead. She would have laughed along, adding to the chorus that made me feel like a joke. Now she sees art, she sees courage, she sees beauty in what I was taught to hide. During AP History, I catch Sophia staring at me from across the room. When I meet her eyes, she waves with that bright smile she uses when she's fishing for information. After class, she corners me by my locker. Maya, what's going on with you today? You seem so confident. There it is, the word that will haunt her dreams. Confident. The one thing she never expected me to become. Just having a good day, I guess. Why? It's not just today, though. That photo this morning, skipping lunch to work on art, even the way you're standing right now, it's like you're a different person. I close my locker and turn to face her fully. In my original timeline, this conversation would have made me crumble. I would have apologized for changing, for taking up space, for existing differently than she expected. Maybe you just never saw me clearly before. She laughs, but it sounds forced. Come on, Maya. We've been best friends since middle school. I know you better than anyone. Do you? The question hangs between us. She's starting to realize that the dynamic we've had, her as the confident leader, me as the insecure follower, is shifting, and she doesn't like it. Of course I do. You're my shy, artistic best friend who takes cute selfies when she's sad and needs me to cheer her up. Shy, artistic, needs her. This is how she sees me. This is how she's always seen me. Not as a person with my own depth and potential, but as a supporting character in her story. The friend who makes her look better by comparison. I'm still artistic, I say carefully, but maybe I'm done being shy. Her smile falters for just a moment before snapping back into place. Well, good for you. I'm proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone. Just don't change too much, okay? I like you the way you are. No, she likes me the way I was, insecure, dependent, grateful for her attention. I'll try to stay true to myself, I say with a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. After school, I spend 2 hours in the darkroom with Mrs. Patterson, learning techniques I'll need for the empire I'm building. But more importantly, I'm establishing an alibi for where I am and what I'm doing, building credibility for my sudden transformation. When I check my phone at 6 p.m., my morning post has 5.7K likes and has been shared to 3 different photography accounts. My follower count has jumped to 1,200, but the most satisfying notification is a screenshot from my friend Jessica. Sophia posted a story at 3:30 p.m., a staged photo of herself crying with the caption, "When your bestie is too busy being artsy to hang out anymore, missing my girl at Maya Chen." She's trying to make me look like the bad friend. She's trying to garner sympathy for being abandoned. What she doesn't realize is that she's documenting her own possessiveness. She's creating evidence that she expects me to prioritize her needs over my own growth. I screenshot it too, add it to the folder I'm building. Every weapon she gives me, I'll use. 3 weeks later, my morning routine includes checking analytics across 4 platforms. Instagram, 12.8K followers. TikTok, 43K. YouTube, 8.2K subscribers. Twitter, 6.7K. I've become a master of authentic content creation, posting photos and videos that won't be mainstream for years. My aesthetic is cohesive, my message is clear, and my engagement rates are through the roof because I'm genuinely connecting with people who feel unseen. The response has been overwhelming. DMs from teenagers thanking me for making them feel less alone. Comments from adults saying my content helped them heal their relationship with their own appearance. Shares from accounts with millions of followers who recognize something special in my work. But the most satisfying part is watching Sophia's reaction. She's tried to copy my style, posting authentic selfies with captions about self-love, but it falls flat because it's not genuine. Her followers can sense the performance. Meanwhile, my audience grows daily because they can feel the difference between real vulnerability and manufactured relatability. This morning, she's sitting at my desk in AP Lit, scrolling through her phone with a frown. Maya, can you help me with something? I look up from my notebook where I'm sketching ideas for my next photo series. What's up? I posted this really artistic selfie yesterday. You know, like the style you've been doing. And it only got 200 likes. But your photo of just your hands holding that paintbrush got 15K. What am I doing wrong? Everything, I want to say. You're treating vulnerability like a trend instead of truth. You're copying aesthetics without understanding substance. You're performing authenticity, which is the only thing authenticity can't be. I don't know, Soph. Maybe people can just tell when something's real. She stares at me for a long moment. Are you saying my content isn't real? I'm saying maybe they respond to different kinds of stories. Mr. Rodriguez starts class before she can respond, but I can feel her frustration radiating from the desk next to me. She's used to being the leader in our friendship, the one with more followers, the one people pay attention to. My growth threatens her entire identity. After class, I deliberately take my time packing up, giving her a chance to walk ahead, but she waits, obviously wanting to continue our conversation. Maya, I need to ask you something. Sure. Are we okay? I feel like ever since you started this art photography thing, you've been distant. We used to text all day, and now you barely respond to my messages. This is it. The moment she reveals her true concern isn't my well-being. It's her loss of control over me. I've just been busy, building something, you know? I didn't realize you were keeping track of my response times. I'm not keeping track. I just miss my best friend. You used to need me. There it is. The truth she didn't mean to say. You used to need me, not we used to hang out more, or we used to have fun together. You used to need me. She misses being needed. She misses the dynamic where I was dependent on her validation. Maybe that's growth, I say quietly, not needing people the same way. Her face flashes through several emotions, confusion, hurt, anger, before settling on fake brightness. Well, I'm proud of you for becoming more independent. Just don't forget about the people who were there for you before you got popular, okay? The manipulation is so obvious it's almost insulting. She's trying to make me feel guilty for growing, trying to remind me that I owe her loyalty, trying to frame my success as abandonment of our friendship. I could never forget, I say with perfect sincerity. Because I won't. I'll remember exactly how she supported me. I'll remember the selfie she was planning to post. I'll remember every snide comment, every moment she made me feel small, every time she used my insecurities as entertainment. I'll remember all of it. That afternoon, I deliberately leave my phone unlocked on my desk while I use the bathroom. It's a test, a trap. When I return, Sophia is sitting exactly where I left her, but my phone screen is lit up with my Photos app open. She's been scrolling through my recent pictures, artistic shots I've been preparing for a new series about light and shadow. Sorry, your phone lit up and I thought it might be important, she says quickly. Liar. The phone doesn't light up on its own when someone opens the Photos app. No problem, I say casually, taking my phone back and checking the recently viewed folder. She looked at everything. Every artistic photo, every behind-the-scenes shot, every image I've been crafting for maximum impact. Perfect. 2 hours later, her Instagram story shows a poorly copied version of one of my artistic selfies. The lighting is wrong, the composition is off, the editing is amateur, with the caption, "Trying Maya's style. Artistic besties at Maya Chen and I." The comments are not kind. This isn't your style, Sophia. Why are you copying Maya? The original is better, sorry. This feels forced. By evening, she's deleted the story, but I have screenshots, always screenshots. She texts me at 11 p.m. "People are being so mean about my artistic photo. I was just trying to support your style and show that we're still close." I stare at the message for a full minute, marveling at how she's framed this. She wasn't trying to support me. She was trying to capitalize on my growing influence. She wasn't showing we're close. She was using our friendship to legitimize her content theft. But now that it backfired, I'm supposed to comfort her. I'm supposed to tell her the mean comments are wrong, that she should keep trying, that I appreciate her support. The old Maya would have. The old Maya would have apologized for somehow causing this situation, even though she did nothing wrong. That sucks. Maybe just focus on what feels authentic to you. I can practically feel her frustration through the screen. She wanted comfort, reassurance, protection from consequences. Instead, I gave her advice that subtly reinforces the problem. She doesn't know what feels authentic to her because her entire online presence is performance. She doesn't respond. Good, let her sit with that. Let her wonder why her best friend isn't rushing to make her feel better. Let her start to realize that the dynamic she's relied on is changing. At midnight, I post a new photo, a self-portrait where I'm looking directly into the camera, my skin glowing in golden hour light, my expression confident and serene. The caption reads, "Grateful for everyone who sees beauty and authenticity. Your support means everything. #golden hour, #authenticity, #grateful heart ikai." It's a message to my real supporters, but Sophia will read it as what it also is. A reminder that people prefer the original to the copy. By morning, the post has 23K likes and 400 comments. Sophia's deleted story had 47 likes before she took it down. The first domino has fallen. 6 weeks post-rebirth, my content strategy is operating like a perfectly tuned machine. I've established myself as the pioneer of artistic authenticity 3 years before it becomes a mainstream trend. My follower count has exploded across all platforms, but more importantly, my engagement rates are through the roof because I'm genuinely connecting with people. This morning, I'm preparing for the post that will change everything. I know from my previous timeline that today, April 28th, 2016, a specific type of content will go viral. Raw, emotional storytelling about beauty standards posted at exactly 2:47 p.m. will catch the algorithm at the perfect moment. The timing has to be precise. I set up my phone in the art room after school, golden hour light streaming through the tall windows. Mrs. Patterson has given me my own key now, impressed by my dedication and the portfolio I'm building. The video I'm about to create will look spontaneous, but every element is calculated. I know which phrases will resonate, which emotions will trigger shares, which visual elements will make people stop scrolling. I press record. Hi, I'm Maya, and I want to talk about something that's been on my heart. I pause, looking directly into the camera with the vulnerability that took me years to master in my previous life. 3 months ago, I was convinced I was ugly. I would spend hours staring at my skin, counting every bump, every mark, every imperfection. I would send crying selfies to friends, begging them to tell me I wasn't as hideous as I felt. I shift slightly, the light catching the texture of my skin in a way that looks ethereal rather than flawed. But somewhere along the way, I started seeing my face differently. Not as a collection of flaws, but as a canvas, a story, a landscape of experiences and growth and humanity. I touch my cheek gently. These marks aren't imperfections. They're proof that I'm real, that I'm human, that I'm here, living and growing and changing. The emotion in my voice is genuine, drawn from years of pain I actually experienced, but channeled into hope instead of despair. To anyone watching this who sees flaws when they look in the mirror, you're not broken. You're not wrong. You're not less beautiful because your face tells a story. Your skin, your features, your everything It's worthy of love, starting with your own. I leaned closer to the camera, speaking directly to the viewer. You don't need permission to take up space. You don't need to apologize for existing in a body that doesn't match magazine covers. You are already enough, exactly as you are right now. Perfect. I uploaded at exactly 2:47 p.m. with the caption, "To my younger self and anyone who needs to hear this today, #skin positivity #self-love you are enough." The response is immediate and overwhelming. Within an hour, the video has 50K views. Within 3 hours, it's at 500K. By dinner, it's hit 1.2 million views and is trending on 3 different platforms. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing in 6 hours. DMs from teenagers, comments from adults, shares from major beauty accounts, messages from brands wanting to collaborate. The video has been reposted by accounts with millions of followers, each time bringing more people to my page. But the most satisfying notification is a text from Sophia at 8:43 p.m. "Maya, you're literally trending on Twitter. This is insane. I'm so proud of you." I screenshot it. Her public support documented. Then I check her social media. She's posted her own story about my success. "So proud of my bestie at Maya Chen for going viral. She's been working so hard on this art project and deserves all the love. #proudfriend #viral #support your girls." Interesting. She's positioning herself as the supportive friend who knew me before I was famous. Smart move, actually. She's trying to attach herself to my success while it's happening. But I remember what happens next in timelines where people go viral suddenly. The backlash, the scrutiny, the people who dig into your past looking for reasons to tear you down. Sophia doesn't realize it yet, but by positioning herself as my closest friend right now, she's also positioning herself to be examined by millions of people, and she has a lot more to hide than I do. My phone rings, a number I don't recognize. "Is this Maya Chen? This is Rebecca Martinez from Teen Vogue. We'd love to speak with you about a potential feature story." Teen Vogue, the magazine I used to read religiously, dreaming of being the kind of girl they'd feature. Now they're calling me. "I'd love to discuss that," I say, keeping my voice steady even though my heart is racing. "Wonderful. We're particularly interested in your approach to redefining beauty standards through artistic expression. Can we schedule an interview for tomorrow?" "Absolutely." After I hang up, I sit in the art room surrounded by my work, processing the magnitude of what just happened. In one day, I've gone from a high school senior with a growing social media presence to a nationally recognized voice in beauty and self-acceptance. The girl who is supposed to die from shame tonight is going to be in Teen Vogue. At 10 p.m., Sophia calls. "Maya, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Teen Vogue? Major brands in your DMs? This is like actual celebrity stuff." Her excitement sounds genuine, but I can hear something else underneath it. Envy, maybe. Or confusion about how her formerly insecure best friend suddenly became someone worth interviewing. It's pretty surreal, I admit. I keep thinking about how different you are now compared to just a few months ago. Like, remember when you used to send me those sad selfies? And now you're this confident artist inspiring millions of people. It's like you're a completely different person. There it is. The question she's really asking. How did you change so dramatically? How did the girl who needed my validation become someone the world validates? Maybe I just needed to find my voice, I say carefully. But it's so weird, you know? Like one day you were my insecure best friend, and the next you were posting these artistic photos and building this whole brand. It happened so fast. She's fishing, trying to understand the transformation so she can either copy it or undermine it. Sometimes growth happens quickly when you finally stop holding yourself back. I guess I just feel like I don't know you anymore. Perfect. Let her feel off balance. Let her wonder if the friend she thought she could control has become someone beyond her reach. I'm still me, Soph. Just more me, maybe. After we hang up, I check my video one more time. 2.8 million views and climbing. Comments pouring in from around the world. People sharing their own stories, posting their own authentic photos, using hashtags I created. I've started a movement, and I'm just getting started. The Teen Vogue article drops 2 weeks later with the headline, 18-year-old Maya Chen is redefining beauty standards, one authentic post at a time. The feature is everything I dreamed of in my original timeline. 3 full pages with professional photos, thoughtful questions about my artistic process, quotes about authenticity and self acceptance that make me sound wise beyond my years. But the real power move was what I negotiated behind the scenes. I'd like to use this platform to showcase other young artists who are exploring similar themes. I told Rebecca during our interview. Could we include a sidebar featuring some of their work? Smart move for multiple reasons. It positions me as someone who lifts others up, creates goodwill in the artistic community, and establishes me as a curator of talent, a role that will be crucial for my future business ventures. The magazine agrees, and I feature 5 emerging artists whose work I remember becoming valuable. I'm essentially creating their breakthrough moments 3 years early while positioning myself as the person with the eye to spot talent. Within 24 hours of the article going live, my Instagram hits 500K followers. Brand partnership offers flood my DMs, not the cheap affiliate links most teen influencers get, but actual campaign contracts from major beauty companies wanting to associate with my message. But I'm strategic about what I accept. I only partner with brands that align with authenticity and skin positivity, and I negotiate ownership stakes whenever possible. Using my knowledge of which companies will boom in the next few years, I'm building an investment portfolio alongside my influence. The real satisfaction, though, is watching how this affects my relationship with Sophia. She's trying to be supportive publicly, but her private messages reveal her growing frustration. Maya, I'm happy for your success, but I feel like you're leaving me behind. We used to do everything together, and now I barely see you. I'm not leaving you behind, I'm just busy building something. But what about us? What about our friendship? You're changing, and I don't know how to fit into this new version of your life. This is the conversation she should have had months ago when I needed her support. Instead, she waited until my success made her feel insignificant to start caring about our friendship. Our friendship doesn't have to change just because I'm growing. But it is changing. You're all confident and artistic now, and I feel like I'm not good enough to be your best friend anymore. The irony is staggering. She spent years making me feel not good enough. And now that the dynamic has shifted, she's experiencing that same inadequacy. You're good enough, Soph. You just need to find your own path instead of trying to follow mine. It's advice I genuinely mean, but she takes it as dismissal. 3 days later, she posts a passive-aggressive story, a throwback photo of us from last year with the caption, "Missing when friendships mattered more than follower counts #real friends. Remember #growth shouldn't mean forgetting." The subtext is clear. I've become shallow and fame-obsessed, abandoning the people who cared about me before I was successful, but her timing is terrible. I've spent months publicly promoting authenticity and supporting others. My brand is built on genuine connection and lifting people up. Her attempt to paint me as fake and abandoning comes across as jealous and petty. The comments on her story reflect this. This seems like a you problem. Maybe support your friend's success instead of making it about you. Maya seems genuine to me. Yikes, this is not a good look. She deletes the story within 4 hours, but I have screenshots. More importantly, several of my followers screenshot it too and send it to me with messages like, "Your friend seems toxic," and "She's obviously jealous." I don't respond publicly to her story, which makes me look like the mature one. But I do post a subtle response. A photo of me in the art studio with the caption, "Grateful for everyone who cheers for your success, questions your growth with curiosity instead of suspicion, and loves the person you're becoming." Surrounding yourself with people who inspire your evolution is everything. #growth gratitude authentic friendship. It's a masterclass in addressing drama without acknowledging it directly. I'm reinforcing my values, subtly calling out unsupportive behavior, and positioning myself as someone who values positive relationships, all without mentioning Sophia or giving her the attention she was fishing for. The post gets 89K likes and hundreds of comments from people sharing their own experiences with outgrowing toxic friendships. But the most telling response comes from Sophia herself, a DM sent at 2 a.m. "I saw your post. I know it was about me. I'm not jealous, Maya. I'm hurt. My best friend became a stranger overnight, and now she's posting inspirational quotes about outgrowing people. This isn't the girl I've known for years." I stare at the message for a long time. She's right that I'm not the girl she's known for years. That girl died 8 years from now, alone and broken, because the people she trusted used her vulnerabilities as entertainment. I type and delete several responses before settling on, "I'm sorry you're hurt. That was never my intention. I just think we want different things now." It's true in the simplest sense. She wants to maintain the dynamic where I needed her validation. I want to build something meaningful with my life. She doesn't respond. Good. Let her think about what she really wants from our friendship, and whether it was ever about caring for me or just about having someone who made her feel important. Meanwhile, my empire continues to grow. I launch a Patreon for exclusive artistic content and tutorials, which hits $10K monthly recurring revenue in the first week. I start a podcast called Authentic Voices, where I interview other young creators who are challenging conventional standards in their fields. But my biggest power move is launching the Real Beauty Project, a collaboration with Teen Vogue and 3 major beauty brands to create a campaign celebrating skin diversity. The campaign features real people of all ages and backgrounds, no retouching, with artistic photography that makes every participant look like a work of art. I'm not just riding the wave of beauty positivity, I'm directing it. And Sophia is watching it all from the sidelines, finally understanding what it feels like to be the insecure friend of someone who's found their power. 3 months post-viral, I'm invited to everything. Gallery openings, brand launches, influencer events, fashion shows. My calendar is booked solid with opportunities that would have been impossible to imagine in my original timeline, but the most valuable invitations are to high school parties. Suddenly, everyone wants Maya Chen at their gathering, the girl who went viral, who's been in magazines, who has brands sending her free products, and celebrities commenting on her posts. I've become a status symbol, proof that their party is cool enough to attract actual famous people. Sophia gets invited to these parties too, but as my friend, not on her own merit. She's reduced to being Maya's bestie from before she was famous, a role that clearly frustrates her, but that she can't quite give up because it's her only connection to the social elevation she craves. Tonight's party is at Derek Morrison's house, the same Derek whose sister Jessica will become Sophia's target in 2 months. I remember this party from my original timeline because it's where Sophia got the ammunition she used to destroy Jessica's reputation. I arrive fashionably late, wearing a vintage band t-shirt and high-waisted jeans, the kind of effortlessly cool look that my newfound confidence makes work. People literally pause conversations to take selfies with me, and I oblige graciously while mentally cataloging every interaction. Sophia finds me within minutes, linking her arm through mine possessively. "Maya, finally! I've been telling everyone you were coming. Jessica Morrison has been dying to meet you. She follows your art account religiously." Interesting. She's using my popularity to facilitate introductions, positioning herself as the gatekeeper to my attention. It's a smart social strategy, but it also reveals how much she needs my success to maintain her own social standing. "I'd love to meet her," I say genuinely. Jessica Morrison is exactly as I remember. Sweet, a little naive, genuinely excited to meet someone whose work she admires. In my original timeline, Sophia will systematically destroy her over a boy who isn't worth either of their energy. "Maya, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. I've been following your work since that first artistic selfie. Your approach to skin positivity literally changed how I see myself." We talk for 20 minutes about art, photography, and self-acceptance. She's thoughtful and kind, asking genuine questions about my creative process. I can see why she'll become successful in her own right. She has authentic curiosity and emotional intelligence. But I'm also watching Sophia's face during our conversation. She's smiling, but her eyes are calculating. She doesn't like how easily Jessica and I connect, how natural our conversation feels, how Jessica seems genuinely interested in my thoughts rather than just my social media stats. "Jessica, I love your perspective. Would you be interested in being featured in my next project? I'm doing a series on young women who are changing their communities in creative ways." Her face lights up. "Really? That would be incredible." "Amazing. I'll DM you this week and we can set something up." Sophia's smile gets tighter. She's not used to me making plans that don't include her, offering opportunities she can't control. As the night progresses, I circulate through different groups, always friendly but always observing. I'm documenting behavior patterns, social dynamics. Who says what about whom when they think nobody important is listening? Around 11 p.m., I'm in the kitchen getting water when I hear familiar voices from the back porch. Sophia is talking to Madison Pierce and Ashley Kim, the girls who, in my original timeline, will help her spread rumors about Jessica. I slip closer to the sliding door, phone ready. I just think it's interesting how some people completely change when they get a little attention, Sophia is saying. What do you mean? Madison asks. Maya used to be so different, shy, insecure, always coming to me for advice. And now she acts like she's too good for the people who were there for her before she was famous. My blood pressure spikes, but I keep recording. That's so fake, Ashley chimes in. Like, success shouldn't change who you are as a person. Exactly. And the worst part is how she's collecting new friends now, like that Jessica girl. Making all these promises about featuring people in her projects. It's like she thinks she's some big shot talent scout or something. Wait, what's wrong with Jessica? Madison asks. Nothing specifically, it's just Maya used to only care about real friendship, you know? Now she's all about networking and building her brand. Even tonight, she spent more time talking to Jessica than to me, and I'm supposed to be her best friend. I stop recording. This is perfect. She's revealing her true feelings about my growth, positioning herself as the victim of my success, and setting the groundwork to target Jessica out of pure jealousy. But she's also making a crucial mistake. She's complaining about me to people who would kill for the opportunities I'm offering. Madison and Ashley aren't going to sympathize with her being neglected by a successful friend. They're going to wonder why she's not supporting that success. I slip back inside before they return, but I make sure to be especially warm to Madison and Ashley for the rest of the night. I compliment Ashley's outfit, ask Madison about her college plans, treat them like interesting people worth knowing rather than just background characters in Sophia's drama. By the time I leave the party, I have 3 valuable things: a recording of Sophia's true feelings, social credit with potential allies, and Jessica's genuine friendship. The drive home is satisfying. In my original timeline, I would never have been invited to this party. If I had been, I would have spent the night hovering around Sophia, grateful for her attention, completely unaware of how she talked about me when I wasn't listening. Now I know exactly who she is and exactly what she's planning, and I have it all documented. 6 months post-rebirth, my media empire has grown beyond social platforms. I have a book deal, a podcast, brand partnerships with major companies, and a waiting list of young artists who want to be featured in my projects. But more importantly, I have a comprehensive portfolio of Sophia's true character. Months of screenshots, recordings, and documented behavior patterns paint a clear picture. A girl who can't tolerate her friends succeeding beyond her, who uses manipulation and emotional guilt to maintain control, who will destroy people out of pure jealousy. It's time to launch my master plan. I start with Digital Wellness Wednesdays, a new series where I discuss online relationships, toxic friendship patterns, and maintaining authenticity in social spaces. The first episode is general, discussing how to recognize when friends aren't genuinely supportive. Sometimes the people closest to us struggle the most with our growth, I say to my camera, sitting in golden hour light in my bedroom. And that's not always their fault. Change can be scary, even positive change. But there's a difference between someone who needs time to adjust and someone who actively tries to hold you back. I don't mention Sophia directly, but I share hypothetical scenarios that match our dynamic perfectly. The girl who complains when you become more confident. The friend who makes your successes about her feelings. The person who wants you to stay small so she can feel big. The response is massive. Comments pour in from viewers sharing their own experiences with unsupportive friends. The video gets 200K views in the first day and is shared across multiple platforms. But more importantly, it establishes the framework for what's coming next. 2 weeks later, I release part 2, When Support Becomes Sabotage. I want to share a personal story, I begin, looking directly into the camera with the vulnerability my audience has come to trust. Not to call anyone out, but to illustrate how subtle relationship toxicity can be, especially in the age of social media. I tell the story carefully, still not naming Sophia directly, but providing enough detail that anyone who knows us will recognize the situation. I had a friend, someone I trusted completely, who I would turn to when I was feeling insecure. I would send vulnerable photos looking for comfort and reassurance, and she would provide that in the moment. But I later learned that she had been saving those photos, planning to use them as content for her own social media. The audience doesn't need to know that I prevented this by traveling back in time. They just need to understand the betrayal. She never posted them, but the fact that she considered it, that she saw my vulnerability as potential entertainment, made me realize our friendship wasn't what I thought it was. I paused, letting that sink in. What really hurt was that she built her own social media presence, partly by positioning herself as my supportive friend, while privately resenting my growth and success. She wanted credit for being there for me, but she couldn't actually celebrate my wins. The comments section explodes. People are outraged on my behalf, sharing similar stories, praising me for speaking out about friendship toxicity. But the most telling responses come from people who know us both. "Is this about Sophia?" appears in multiple comments. "I always wondered about her TBH. She did seem jealous at Derek's party. Maya, you deserve better friends." I don't respond to any speculation about Sophia specifically, but I heart comments that focus on the general message about recognizing toxic patterns. Meanwhile, my DMs are flooded with screenshots that people are sending me. Sophia has been making her rounds to mutual friends, trying to control the narrative. "Maya is really disappointing me lately," she told Emma Rodriguez. "She's completely changed since she got famous, and now she's making these videos that are obviously about me. I've been nothing but supportive. I don't know what I did to deserve this," she told Marcus Kim. "Maya and I used to be so close, and now she's basically calling me a bad friend to millions of people." But her biggest mistake is the message she sends to Jessica Morrison. "I hope you're not getting too attached to Maya's promises about featuring you in her projects. She has a pattern of saying she'll help people and then moving on to the next shiny thing. I just don't want to see you get disappointed like I did." Jessica screenshots it and sends it to me immediately. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. Sophia attempting to sabotage my relationship with Jessica, trying to poison other people against me, revealing that her hurt is really just anger at losing control. I have her. Time for the final phase. 8 months after my rebirth, I'm invited to speak at a youth leadership conference about authenticity and digital wellness. The event is being live streamed and will reach hundreds of thousands of viewers, mostly teenagers and young adults who follow my content. I know Sophia will be watching. She won't be able to resist the opportunity to see what I might say about our situation. Perfect. My speech is scheduled for 2 p.m. on a Saturday, peak social media engagement time. I've been building anticipation for weeks, promising to share something important about my journey and the lessons I've learned about relationships in the digital age. The auditorium is packed. Teenagers with phones ready, adults with notebooks, cameras capturing every angle. This is my moment to control the narrative completely. I take the stage in a simple black dress and blazer, professional but approachable. My slides are minimalist, focusing attention on my words rather than flashy graphics. "Hi everyone, I'm Maya Chen, and I want to talk to you about the difference between authentic support and performative friendship." The audience settles in, sensing this will be more personal than my usual content. 8 months ago, I was a very different person. Insecure, dependent on others for validation, willing to shrink myself to make other people comfortable. I had what I thought was a best friend, someone I trusted with my deepest insecurities and most vulnerable moments. I clicked to the first slide, a screenshot of a generic text conversation about feeling ugly and needing reassurance. I would reach out when I was struggling, looking for comfort and support, and she would provide that publicly. She would comment encouraging things on my posts, tell me I was beautiful, position herself as the friend who built me up. Next slide, another screenshot showing supportive public comments versus dismissive private messages. But privately, it was different. She would screenshot my vulnerable photos, the ones I sent crying, looking for comfort, and save them. Not to treasure our friendship, but as potential content. As evidence of how much better she was at being confident. A murmur goes through the audience. This is more raw than they expected. When I started growing as a person and artist, when I found my voice and began succeeding, she couldn't handle it. The friend who claimed to support me revealed that she had only been comfortable with our friendship when I needed her more than she needed me. I advanced to the next slide, a compilation of passive-aggressive social media posts about friends changing and success going to people's heads. She began making public posts about how success changes people, how fame makes friends forget where they came from. She positioned herself as the loyal friend abandoned by someone who got too big for their britches. The energy in the room is electric. People are leaning forward, completely engaged. But here's what really opened my eyes. I clicked to the final slide, a screenshot of Sophia's message to Jessica with names blurred out but the manipulation clear. She started trying to sabotage my new friendships, warning people that I would disappoint them, that I had a pattern of using people and moving on. She couldn't stand that I was forming connections that didn't involve her. I pause, looking directly into the camera that's live streaming this to my social media followers. I'm sharing this not to hurt anyone, but to help you recognize these patterns in your own relationships. Real friends celebrate your growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Real friends want to see you succeed, even if it means the dynamic changes. Real friends don't treat your vulnerabilities like ammunition. The applause starts before I'm finished, building to a standing ovation that lasts nearly 2 minutes. But the real impact happens online. Within an hour, #authentic friendship is trending on Twitter. The live stream has been watched by over 500K people. Comments pour in, identifying with the story, sharing similar experiences, praising me for speaking out. And buried in thousands of supportive messages, I find the ones I was looking for. This is definitely about Sophia Chen Martinez. I go to school with them, and this is 100% accurate. Sophia has been telling people Maya changed, but honestly, Maya just got successful. I always thought Sophia was fake supportive. People who know us both are connecting the dots publicly. Sophia's name is being mentioned directly, her behavior being called out by classmates who witnessed it firsthand. But the most satisfying response comes from Jessica Morrison, who posts a long Instagram story. Maya Chen is the most genuine person I've met. She's used her platform to lift up other artists, including me, without asking for anything in return. Anyone trying to paint her as fake or using people clearly doesn't know her. Real recognizes real. #authentic friendship. By evening, Sophia's social media accounts are flooded with comments. People are calling her out directly, questioning her past behavior, asking why she's been trying to tear down her best friend. She tries damage control with a story. It's really sad when people you care about use private conversations and personal situations for public content. I hope Maya finds peace. But it's too little, too late. The story makes her look petty and defensive. She's essentially confirming that the speech was about her while trying to claim victim status. Her story gets screenshot and shared with comments like, "This confirms everything Maya said. Taking accountability would be a better look. You're proving her point." By Monday morning, Sophia has lost 2,000 followers and gained dozens of critical comments on her recent posts. People are going through her old content, pointing out instances where she made subtle digs at friends or posted passive-aggressive content. The court of public opinion has made its judgment, and I haven't said a single word about her directly. The fallout from my speech spreads beyond what I anticipated. Within a week, 3 other students from our high school come forward with their own stories about Sophia's behavior. Emma Rodriguez posts about how Sophia spread rumors about her family's financial situation. Marcus Kim shares screenshots of Sophia making cruel comments about his acne, ironically given her current position. Most damaging is Ashley Kim, who reveals that Sophia had been collecting embarrassing photos and information about multiple friends, not just me. She called it her insurance policy. Ashley writes in a Twitter thread that goes viral. "Said you never know when you might need leverage." I didn't know about any of this. In my original timeline, these victims never spoke up because they didn't have a platform or the courage to go against someone they saw as powerful. But my success gave them permission to speak their truth. The pattern that emerges paints Sophia as a calculating manipulator who collected vulnerabilities and used friendship as a cover for control. It's worse than even I realized. But as I watch her world crumble, I feel an unexpected emotion. Doubt. She's not just losing followers or facing social consequences. She's being completely ostracized. Teachers are avoiding her. Students won't sit near her. She eats lunch alone, staring at her phone with an expression I recognize. The same desperate isolation I felt in my original timeline. For the first time since my rebirth, I wonder if I've gone too far. The thought occurs to me on a Tuesday afternoon as I watch her walk past a group of girls who immediately stop talking and turn away. She's become what I was in my original life: the social pariah, the cautionary tale, the person everyone whispers about but no one wants to associate with. The difference is that she chose her actions. She made deliberate decisions to hurt people, manipulate situations, and treat friendship like a game. I was just existing in a body that didn't match society's standards, but the result is the same: complete social isolation. Marcus Kim notices my distraction during art class. You okay? You seem weird today. Marcus, sweet, genuine Marcus, who in my original timeline never looked twice at me, but who now sits with me every day, appreciating my artwork and making me laugh with his terrible puns about paintbrushes. Just thinking about consequences, I say, mixing colors on my palette. How sometimes getting what you want doesn't feel like you thought it would. He nods thoughtfully. My mom always says revenge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Wise mom. Yeah, but she also says sometimes people need to face consequences for their actions, or they never learn. It's finding the balance that's hard. Balance. The word stays with me for the rest of the week. I'm not sorry for protecting myself or for speaking my truth. I'm not sorry for building a life where I'm valued and successful. I'm not even sorry for letting natural consequences unfold when someone's harmful behavior catches up with them. But I am starting to think about what comes next. How long does someone need to face consequences before the lesson is learned? When does justice become cruelty? Friday afternoon, I'm in the hallway when I see Sophia sitting alone on the steps, scrolling through her phone with tears in her eyes. For a moment, she looks exactly like I did in my original timeline: broken, isolated, questioning whether life is worth living. The memory hits me like a physical blow: the weight of social rejection, the feeling that everyone sees you as a joke, the desperate loneliness that makes every day feel impossible to survive. I almost walk over to her, almost break my own strategy to offer comfort. But then she looks up and sees me. For a split second, her expression is vulnerable, almost hopeful. Then it hardens into anger. "Enjoying the show?" she says loud enough for people to hear. I pause, meeting her eyes. "I'm not enjoying anyone's pain, Sophia." "Right, you just happened to destroy my entire life by accident." I shared my truth. What happened after that wasn't up to me. "Your truth?" She laughs bitterly. "Your truth that turned everyone against me. Your truth that made me into the school villain. Your truth that ruined everything." People are starting to stare. This is the confrontation everyone has been waiting for. The former best friends finally facing each other directly. "I never mentioned your name," I say quietly. "You didn't have to. You knew exactly what would happen." She's right. I did know exactly what would happen. I planned it, orchestrated it, documented everything meticulously so this moment would be inevitable. "Yes," I say simply, "I did know." The honesty surprises her. She was expecting denial or deflection. "So you admit it. You deliberately destroyed my reputation." I admitted that actions have consequences. I admitted that people who treat friendship like a weapon shouldn't be surprised when their friends defend themselves. I never actually posted that photo, Maya. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. There it is, the defense she's been building in her head. She never actually posted the selfie, so she's not really guilty of anything. But I know she would have. In my original timeline, she did. She screenshot my vulnerability and turned it into entertainment. She launched 8 years of harassment that ended with my death. "You saved it," I say steadily. "You collected my vulnerabilities like trophies. You treated my pain like content. The only reason you didn't post it was because I changed before you got the chance." People change, Maya. Maybe I would have realized it was wrong. Maybe. But you didn't change when you tried to sabotage my friendship with Jessica. You didn't change when you made those passive-aggressive posts about success going to people's heads. You didn't change when you started spreading rumors about me using people. Each point hits home. She knows I'm right. "I was hurt," she says desperately. "My best friend became a stranger overnight. I felt abandoned. You felt like you lost control, I correct. There's a difference. The hallway has gone completely silent. Everyone is watching this conversation, recording it, already composing the social media post that will immortalize this moment. Sophia realizes this too. She looks around at the audience, at the phones pointed in our direction, at the faces eager for drama. You've won, Maya. Congratulations. You're successful. Everyone loves you. And I'm the villain in your inspiring story. I hope it was worth it. She stands to leave, but I stop her with a question that surprises us both. Are you going to be okay? The genuine concern in my voice catches everyone off guard, including me. She stares at me for a long moment, searching my face for sarcasm or manipulation. Finding none, she looks genuinely confused. I don't know, she says quietly. Are you asking because you care or because you want to look good for your audience? It's a fair question. Am I concerned about her well-being, or am I performing concern for the people watching? Both, probably, I admit. But the caring part is real. Something shifts in her expression. The anger doesn't disappear, but it's joined by something else. Recognition, maybe, or exhaustion. I'll figure it out, she says finally. I always do. She walks away without looking back, leaving me standing in a hallway full of people who just witnessed the most honest conversation I've had in months. As the crowd disperses and normal hallway noise resumes, I realize something important. Revenge is only satisfying until you win. 1 year after my rebirth, I'm packing for college. My acceptance to Rhode Island School of Design came with a full scholarship, academic recognition, and an invitation to join their most prestigious program. The portfolio that got me in was built from the ground up during this year of transformation. Art that explores identity, authenticity, and the complexity of human relationships. My bedroom walls are covered with printed Instagram comments, magazine features, and photos from events I've attended. But mixed in with the celebration of my success are reminders of the cost. A printed screenshot of Sophia eating lunch alone. A photo from graduation where she's standing apart from everyone else. A newspaper clipping about the teen mental health crisis that includes statistics about social media bullying. And I've been successful beyond my wildest dreams from my original timeline. My book, Authentic, A Guide to Growing Into Yourself, will be published next year. My social media platforms have millions of followers. I have brand partnerships, speaking engagements, and investment opportunities that will set me up for life. But success feels different than I expected. More complex. More lonely in its own way. Marcus knocks on my doorframe carrying coffee and wearing the soft smile that's become my favorite thing about him. How's the packing going? He asks, setting the mug on my nightstand and sitting on my bed. Almost done. Just trying to decide what parts of this year I want to take with me. He follows my gaze to the wall of memories. All of it shaped who you are now. I know. I just wonder sometimes if I could have become this person without hurting someone else in the process. We've had variations of this conversation before. Marcus knows more of my story than anyone. Not the whole truth about time travel and my previous death, but enough to understand the moral complexity of my choices. She was hurting you, he reminds me gently. Maybe not in the ways that happened in your head, but she was collecting your vulnerabilities and treating your friendship like a game. That's not hypothetical. He's right. Even without the knowledge of my original timeline, Sophia's behavior in this one was manipulative and harmful. The consequences she faced were a result of her choices, not my manipulation. But knowing that doesn't completely eliminate the guilt. I saw her yesterday, I tell him, at the coffee shop downtown. She was by herself, reading. She looked peaceful. It was true. For the first time in months, Sophia had looked calm rather than angry or defensive. She was wearing simple clothes instead of her usual Instagram-ready outfits, no phone in sight, completely absorbed in whatever she was reading. Did you talk to her? No, but I wanted to. Marcus considers this. What would you say? I don't know, maybe that I hope she finds what she's looking for. Maybe that I'm sorry it had to happen this way. Maybe that I understand now why people hurt each other sometimes. Because growth is painful and messy and complicated. Maybe you should tell her that. I look at him in surprise. You think I should reach out? I think you should do whatever helps you move forward without carrying regret. You're about to start a new chapter of your life. Don't take unfinished emotional business with you. That evening, I find Sophia's number in my blocked contacts and unblock it for the first time in months. I stare at the empty message field for 20 minutes before typing, "Hey, I know this might be weird to hear from me, but I wanted to say something before I leave for college. I'm sorry for the way things ended between us. Not for protecting myself or speaking my truth, but for how much collateral damage there was. I hope you're doing okay and that you find happiness in whatever comes next. Maya." I send it before I can second guess myself. She doesn't respond immediately, and I wonder if she's blocked me or changed her number. But 3 hours later, my phone buzzes. "Thank you for saying that. I've been in therapy since everything happened, working on understanding why I behaved the way I did. I'm sorry, too, for treating your feelings like they were less important than my ego, for seeing your success as my failure, for forgetting how to be a real friend. I'm glad you found your voice, even if it meant losing our friendship. You deserve all the good things happening for you. Take care of yourself at college." I read the message 3 times, feeling something loosen in my chest that I didn't realize had been tight. It's not a reunion. We're not going to be friends again. Too much has happened, and we're both different people than we were a year ago. But it's closure. It's acknowledgement from both sides that we were flawed humans who hurt each other and learned from it. It's forgiveness, not for the original wrongs, but for the messiness of healing from them. I sleep better that night than I have in months. College move-in day arrives with September sunshine and the kind of crisp air that makes everything feel possible. My parents drive me to Rhode Island with a car full of art supplies, bedding, and enough snacks to feed my entire dorm floor. My roommate is a photography major from California who immediately compliments my skincare routine and asks if I'm the Maya Chen she's been following on Instagram. We bond over artistic vision and late-night editing sessions before we even finish unpacking. But the moment that makes everything feel real comes that evening, as I'm setting up my half of our shared room. I'm hanging photos on my wall, not the printed social media comments or magazine features, but personal pictures. My family, Marcus, friends I've made, Mrs. Patterson from art class. And in the middle of them all, I hang a self-portrait I took last week. It's similar to that first artistic photo I posted almost a year ago, but more confident, more peaceful. The skin that once made me want to hide is showcased like the complex, beautiful landscape it is. This is who I was supposed to become. Not the girl who died from shame, not the girl who lived for revenge, but this version. Successful, confident, kind, but still human. Still growing. My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. "How's the college life treating you?" I take a photo of my completed wall and send it to him. Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And for the first time since my rebirth, that feels completely true.